Now for the third and final video for section 1.5, this will certainly finish up the chapter. And so we are now ready for example number 16. Number 16 is the absolute value of x squared plus 9x minus 5 equals 5. Now once again we have the absolute value all by itself, so that means we can immediately split it up into two different equations and solve each one individually. So we'll have x squared plus 9x minus 5 has to equal 5, or x squared plus 9x minus 5 has to equal negative 5. And so, solving this one first, get everything to one side and set it equal to 0. X squared plus 9x minus 10 equals 0. And I believe this factors to x plus 10 and x minus 1, which means x plus 10 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0, or in other words, x equals 1, or x equals negative 10. Quickly checking, and you'll see that all of those work fine. Likewise, if I add 5 to both sides, I get x squared plus 9x equals 0, and I can factor out an x and get x equal to 0, or x plus 9 equals 0, or x equals negative 9. And 0 and negative 9 work just as well. And so there are the answers that we come to. Examples 17 and 18, we are asked to use factoring to solve these equations, and so we may have to use more methods, but this should be review from previous classes. So we have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 9x minus 36 equals 0. Now here we have 4 terms, so chances are we're going to have to do some grouping. So when I group these first two together, I have nothing to worry about. When I group these two, since this is a negative, I do need to change that to a positive. Then I factor out the common factor here, get x squared times x plus 4. I can factor out a 9 here and get x plus 4. And that's a really good thing because I want to see these two factors being exactly the same. So I get x plus 4 times x squared minus 9. But x squared minus 9 can factor further because that's the difference of squares. That is x plus 3 times x minus 3. And now I can set each and every one of these equal to 0 and solve each one of them individually. So x would equal 3, or x would equal negative 3, or x would equal negative 4. And if you plug each one of these into the original, you will see each and every one of them work out correct. And the final example is example number 18. Example number 18, we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x equals 0. Now the first thing, I see a common factor of x, so I'm going to take that out, and then it becomes relatively simple from that point. And x squared plus 2x minus 8 will factor to x plus 4 times x minus 2, and set each one equal to 0. X equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. So x might equal 2, x might equal negative 4, or x might equal 0. A quick check, you will see each and every one of these works.